The mystery of Sanjeevani, the mountain Hanuman carried thousands of years ago, during the war described in the Ramayana. A moment occurred that has fascinated people for centuries. A moment involving a legendary healing herb. A herb believed to have the power to bring someone back from the brink of death. This plant is known as Sanjeevani. According to tradition, Sanjeevani was the herb that saved the life of Lakshmana, the brother of Lord Rama. But the story of Sanjeevani is not only about an herb. It is about a mountain. A mountain that was lifted and carried across the sky. And a mystery that still exists in the Himalayas today. Because many traditions believe that the mountain connected with Sanjeevani still exists. And people still travel there searching for the legendary herb. The night Lakshmana fell during the war in Lanka, Ravana's powerful son Meghnad, Indrajit, launched a devastating attack. In the middle of battle, Lakshmana was struck by a powerful weapon. He collapsed on the battlefield. His condition quickly became critical. The army of Rama feared the worst. At that moment, the healer Sushana, who was present in Lanka, examined Lakshmana. He said there was only one way to save him. A rare herb called Sanjeevani that grew in the Himalayan mountains. But there was a problem. The herb had to be brought before sunrise. Otherwise Lakshmana would not survive. Hanuman's journey to the Himalayas without hesitation, Hanuman volunteered for the mission. He leapt across the sky and began traveling toward the Himalayas. The distance between Lanka and the Himalayan mountains is enormous. But Hanuman moved with incredible speed. Eventually he reached a specific mountain known in tradition as Dronagiri mountain. Today this mountain is associated with Dronagiri in Uttarakhand, India. According to the story, this mountain contained many rare medicinal herbs. Among them was the legendary Sanjeevani. But there was another problem. Hanuman did not know which plant was the correct one. The mountain contained hundreds of glowing herbs. Each one looked powerful. Each one seemed unique. Time was running out. So Hanuman made a decision. Instead of searching for the herb, he lifted the entire mountain. The mountain in the sky. Ancient descriptions say the sky darkened as Hanuman carried the mountain. The entire peak of the Himalayas traveled through the air. Trees, herbs, and rocks moved across the sky as he rushed back toward Lanka. When Hanuman returned to the battlefield, the healer Sushana identified the Sanjeevani herb. The herb was used to treat Lakshmana. And within moments, Lakshmana regained consciousness. The army of Rama was saved. Where the mountain was dropped after the herb was used, Hanuman returned the mountain. Traditions say the original mountain was Dronagiri in Uttarakhand. But another fascinating belief exists. Some traditions say small fragments of the mountain fell during Hanuman's flight. Several places in India claim to be locations where pieces of the mountain landed. One famous example is Gandhardhan Hill in Odisha. Another is Umasala Hill in Sri Lanka, which contains unusual Himalayan plants not normally found there. These locations continue to attract researchers and pilgrims curious about the legend. The guardian deity of the mountain Dronagiri mountain in Uttarakhand is not just known for the Sanjeevani story. The region has a temple dedicated to the local guardian deity known as Dronagiri Devi. In local tradition, Dronagiri Devi is considered the protector of the sacred mountain and its medicinal plants. Some stories say the villagers were once upset that Hanuman removed part of the mountain. Because of this, certain communities historically avoided worshipping Hanuman in that area. Whether symbolic or historical, this tradition adds another layer to the mystery of the mountain. Is Sanjeevani a real plant? Scientists have long debated whether the Sanjeevani herb described in ancient texts might correspond to a real medicinal plant. Some researchers have suggested plants such as Selaginella bryopteris, sometimes called the resurrection plant. This plant has an unusual ability. It appears dry and lifeless during drought. But when exposed to water, it revives rapidly. This property has fascinated botanists studying Himalayan medicinal herbs. However, no plant has been definitively identified as the Sanjeevani described in the Ramayana. The mystery remains unsolved. Should we send an expedition? Today, the Himalayan region around Dunagiri mountain in Uttarakhand remains rich in rare medicinal plants. Researchers, botanists, and historians continue exploring the area. Many questions remain unanswered. Could the Sanjeevani herb represent a real plant with powerful medicinal properties? Could ancient knowledge of Himalayan herbs have inspired the story? And could undiscovered medicinal species still exist in these mountains? These questions make the story of Sanjeevani one of the most fascinating intersections of history, tradition, and science. Perhaps one day, a new expedition into the Himalayas will uncover more clues. Until then, the legend of the mountain Hanuman carried continues to inspire curiosity. Because somewhere in the high Himalayan forests, the mystery of Sanjeevani may still be waiting. Scientists searching for the Sanjeevani herb, the real expedition into the Himalayas for centuries. The story of the Sanjeevani herb has captured the imagination of people across India. According to the Ramayana, this mysterious plant had the power to revive someone who was on the verge of death. Hanuman flew to the Himalayas to retrieve it. Unable to identify the herb, he carried an entire mountain back to the battlefield. The plant was used to revive Lakshmana, saving his life. For many generations, this story remained part of sacred tradition. But in the modern era, something interesting happened. Scientists began asking a question. What if the Sanjeevani herb was inspired by a real medicinal plant? And what if that plant still exists somewhere in the Himalayas? The Himalayas, a living pharmacy. The Himalayan mountains are one of the richest regions on earth for medicinal plants. Researchers estimate that thousands of medicinal species grow in the Himalayan ecosystem. Many of these plants have been used in traditional medicine systems such as Ayurveda and Tibetan medicine for centuries. In fact, modern pharmaceutical companies have discovered that several Himalayan plants contain powerful compounds used in modern drugs. Because of this, botanists and researchers regularly conduct expeditions into remote Himalayan valleys searching for rare plants. Some of these plants grow only in extremely specific environments: high altitudes, rocky slopes, deep forests where human activity is minimal. The resurrection plant, one of the plants often mentioned in discussions about Sanjeevani, is Selaginella bryopteris. This plant is sometimes called the resurrection plant. Its behavior is unusual. During dry conditions, the plant appears completely lifeless. Its leaves curl inward and it turns brown. But when exposed to water, it revives within hours. Its leaves reopen and it becomes green again. This remarkable ability has fascinated scientists studying plant survival mechanisms. Because of this property, some researchers have speculated that this plant might have inspired the ancient description of Sanjeevani. However, there is still no definitive proof. Expeditions in the Dunagiri region. The region most often associated with the Sanjeevani story is Drongiri mountain, located near Dunagiri in Uttarakhand, India. This region lies in the higher Himalayas. It is covered with forests, alpine meadows, and steep mountain terrain. The area is known for its rich biodiversity. Botanists studying Himalayan medicinal plants frequently explore this region. The nearby Dunagiri temple is considered sacred and attracts pilgrims throughout the year. Some researchers believe that ancient knowledge of medicinal plants from this region may have contributed to the Sanjeevani story. Why it is so difficult to identify? Even if the Sanjeevani herb once existed, identifying it today would be extremely difficult. There are several reasons. First, the Himalayas contain thousands of plant species. Second, many ancient medicinal traditions used combinations of herbs rather than a single plant. Third, environmental changes over thousands of years may have caused some species to disappear. It is also possible that the story of Sanjeevani represents a symbolic description of powerful medical knowledge that existed in ancient India. Ancient knowledge of medicine. Ancient Indian medical texts show that early physicians had advanced knowledge of herbal medicine. Texts connected with Ayurveda, such as the Charka Samhita and Sushrota Samhita, describe hundreds of medicinal plants. These texts explain how herbs could be used to treat wounds, infections, and diseases. Some of these treatments are still studied by modern researchers today. This suggests that ancient healers possessed deep knowledge of natural medicine. The story of Sanjeevani may reflect this tradition. Could the herbs still exist? One of the most fascinating possibilities is that undiscovered medicinal plants may still exist in remote parts of the Himalayas. The mountains contain many regions that remain difficult to access. New plant species are still discovered every year in Himalayan research expeditions. Because of this, scientists continue studying the region's biodiversity. Some researchers believe that plants with extraordinary medicinal properties may still be waiting to be discovered. The intersection of tradition and science. The story of Sanjeevani sits at a unique intersection between ancient tradition and modern science. Sacred texts preserve the memory of a powerful healing herb. Modern scientists explore the mountains searching for plants with extraordinary properties. Whether the Sanjeevani herb existed exactly as described or represents a symbolic story about ancient medical knowledge, the mystery continues to inspire curiosity. The mountain of healing. Today, the Himalayan region associated with the Sanjeevani story remains one of the most important centers for medicinal plant research. Researchers, botanists, and traditional healers all study the region's unique ecosystem. Every expedition brings the possibility of discovering new plants with powerful healing potential. And perhaps somewhere in those mountains, hidden among the forests of Dronagiri, the secret of Sanjeevani may still exist, waiting to be discovered.